Yo, what's going on, boys? It's your man Alpaca Manager back for another figure review. Yes, it is another figure review after that last video. I know I said it might not be, but right off the bat, I'm going to start with a nice figure review of my man Leatherhead from Turtles in Time, the Neca series. I'm not sure if this series was released widely or if it was some sort of store exclusive, but I found mine at FYE. I got a couple of the dogs here, but we only showing Leatherhead today. Now, as you can see, there's a big hefty boy, big hefty guy, big lizard man, big crocodile. And it actually is a very, very nice figure. I'm a big fan of this figure. Just by looks alone, I think he is one of the better NECA like sculpts, the cartoon sculpts. Because I know this is a reuse. They released this originally with a Leatherhead, and I think it's slash 2-pack. But of course, you know, I could not afford that or find it. I wasn't even collecting figures at the time, so we settled with this for a Leatherhead in my collection. So we'll move this man out of the way and bring in the box. Ooh, he stands up a little funky. So here we have the box, a nice little square package, different than the usual Ninja Turtles boxes, especially with the some of this artwork on the side. I actually really do like the box though. It gives it a nice vibe and it changes it up from the usual. I'm a big fan of this Michelangelo right on the front. He looks just tremendous. I think that's Donatello. Can't tell by the color. He looking. Oh yeah, yep. My man looking good. My man looking good. So not a bad box. It's surprising they really have to just they stick everything real close because NECA usually has much bigger boxes. So condensing everything into a smaller box, they still do it well. Now moving this man in, looking at the paint sculpt on this guy, you can see for the paint scheme, he's got a lot of the, what would it be, like pixel art kind of stuff? Not pixel art, but pixely art kind of thing. And I really do like the design on him. For game accuracy, not too sure. Did not look at Leatherhead before this. Should have done a little bit more looking into it. I only looked at a couple of the turtles, but they do look pretty good converting into 3D. I think the sculpt very nice too. It's not changed whatsoever from the original. Like everything is exactly the same, accessories and all. But I think it's different enough of a sculpt that if you have the original, I think you should still even get it. And if you don't, it's definitely a decent way to get Leatherhead into the collection. And the sculpt on the head too, a lot of nice fine details. The jaw on mine is a little bit crooked, so it doesn't really close correctly. That's all the closed I get, and that's about all the open. So it may be more, maybe less, I don't know. Maybe I got lucky. The weird jaw makes it better. But moving on to the legs and everything, sculpt is all very nice. And the only problem is these joints, usually with NECA, joints are stiff, but this is like next gen. Like everything is super stiff on the legs. So just like usual, be careful when you get the figure. Just treat it very gently out of the box so it does not get destroyed. Now, putting this man down. And we'll be looking at some of the articulation. So, articulation on this man. At the head, he looks up. Not too bad. It seems like there's a double ball peg in the neck, something like that. At the jaw, it looks like there is just a normal, regular old hinge. And with mine being a little wacky, does not close all the way. And I don't think it opens all the way either. So for looking down, he's a tall man, so he can look pretty much straight down on all those shrimps around him. There is also like a ball joint, so you can get all the kind of head articulation you'd like, which is very nice. You can get some nice expressive poses out of this man. So, moving on to the arms. At the arm here, it goes up about that far, a little lower than 90, but not too bad. You got your usual hinge swivel build over here, so you can go all the way around. A nice bicep swivel. With the way the sculpt is, it might like get hit here, so be very nice going with them. You can see it'll stress it out a little bit. So just take it easy, all right? Take it easy. The double jointed elbow here. You really get movement out of only one of them, but the other one helps that just a little bit, so you get a full 90. Well, I don't know if that would even be considered 90. You get a nice bend at the elbow here, all the way in for a big figure here. Oof. Now coming down to the wrist. At all the hands, every pair of hands has the same amount of articulation. There's just a regular peg with the hinge, so you can go up a little bit with them and down. And then you get your usual swivel with the hands. They're a little bit tight, and there's still paint in the joint, so it's a little bit more. I gotta clean them out before I do it. Should have done that before, but still, we going in. At the diaphragm, I guess you could call it here, there is some sort of ball joint in there. You don't get that much movement, but it's just a little bit for like a posture change if you want him standing up straight, or you can be a little hunched over. It's only about that much articulation there. You can get your swivels and everything too. Don't worry, the swivel is here. It all still works nicely. For a big figure like this, he actually does have a really decent amount of articulation, and it's all just kind of basic articulation too. Like sometimes Neca likes to, I would say, experiment with some of their articulation, and it works sometimes, and it definitely doesn't work other times. But with this guy, they kept it basic, and it's all very nice. So at the very tight hips here, ooh, kicks forward about that far. Let me straighten out this leg so it's more accurate. Kicks forward that far, goes back, not too bad. You can see the big tail here. Comes out to the side. Ooh, pretty good. Just a little bit clicky. I'd say be careful with the legs. They may or may not break. Oof, that was risky. There's a nice little swivel at the thigh too. Can't forget it. All super tight, so I guess he won't fall over when standing. Double jointed knees here. Really gotta manhandle this gator to get them joints to work. All the joints are very nice and tight though. I usually never have a problem with Neca figures breaking over tight joints. Like I have the SH Monster, it's Biollante. One of the tentacles was too tight and it broke. That's so sad. I'm depressed over it. But going down to the ankle now, this man's got some fine footwear. Move it forward. His big feet go that far forward. A little bit back. Of course, you know, we got a little bit of that ankle pivot. So it's not hard to stand this man up at all. Now, smack this man down. Put him in more of a regular standing position. Oh wait, can't forget the tail actually. So out of the box, or right out of the box, the tail is not connected, and it was a pain to get it on. Watch out, because all these spikes, they are sharp, and you will cut yourself. I got like 14 wounds. I was bleeding like a gunshot wound when I was putting this on. It was rough. I definitely recommend getting some hot water, because it's just a double ball joint. You just got to stick it on there, and it gets some decent articulation. Not all the poses look that good, because the base of the tail comes out a lot. I feel like if it was all the way in, it would be a little more natural, but it's still not bad. You get some decent articulation, and being a heavy figure like he is with the long tail and the big head, he stands up pretty decently. See, not too hard. Man stands up very well. Now, moving him out of the way. Well, I guess we can leave him in the back. Now, moving on to the accessories. First, we'll look at some interchangeable hands. Moving over here, this guy has two of these just open kind of gripping hands. Maybe he's coming at you, gonna grab you, give you a big old jump, I don't know, eat you maybe. He's an alligator, he's kind of hungry, so he comes with two of those. The sculpt on both of them is different. One of these you can see it's got like a bent pinky, more bent fingers. This one's a little more open. It's nice when they do that. You reuse or not reusing sculpt, it makes it a little bit, just that little bit more different. Now for the other pair of hands, he has this one, I don't know what you'd call it, just kind of a gripping hand, weird C gripping hand. And then this one looks like more of a gun trigger finger holding hand. Got maybe a pointing, maybe he's pointing at you. But this one, I think, goes with his final accessory here, the weird pixelated knife, which I'm going to jump ahead here and show with the other figures in the line. They don't have pixelated weapons like this, so I'm kind of heated. Like, I like the normal look because it fits with the figure. I don't get why they had to give him the pixelated knife. Did the original come with this? I'm not actually too sure, but I would have rather had just a regular plain, like just a knife, like a regular dagger. None of this pixelated stuff. It doesn't look right. It doesn't fit with the rest of the set. So bring that other hand in here. I'm sure you know what this man's got to do. Not going to force it because I don't want to risk any paint rub, but you can see he's got the grip, he's got the knife. You can do what you must with it. Now, we got a big fella here, so we're gonna move him into some big comparisons. We'll back this up a little bit. So, bringing that man Leonardo in again, we'll compare him to the other two Turtles in Time figures I have to do. We got Leonardo and Michelangelo. Sadly, I missed out on the Shredder from this same wave because I was gonna just get the Shredder and Leatherhead out of this wave with the Michelangelo. By the time I got to him, it was gone. It was dead. The only thing I had left was Leatherhead, and I'm glad I've got that man. But you can see he scales very nicely. Probably accurate because this is all just reused from the cartoon. I'm pretty sure all just reused sculpt. Maybe a few things are changed up, but a majority of it's the same. So the scale has got to be good. Now moving. Got a couple more guys to compare him to here. Another turtle, my friend Raphael, reading the paper. And then for some reason, Marvel Legends Ultron. There you go. You can see, very nice scale. Very hefty figure. Not too bad. Now, moving these boys out of the way. That's about it. This guy, pretty good figure. I really do like him, especially because I'm a fan of the Ninja Turtles line, and I could not get the original Leatherhead, that 2-pack, very expensive at the moment. So this is a very nice way for if you don't have the original Leatherhead and you just want a Leatherhead in the display, you don't really care about the funky paint, it's pretty good. I think it's a very nice way to get them for a little bit cheaper because you don't have to pay them scalper prices. So thank you guys so much for watching. Nice return to form with the figure reviews. Probably going to be, I'm thinking I'm going to do a review of the first appearance of Carnage, that little story arc, and that's going to be like my first comic review. And I'm super hyped for it. I hope you guys are hyped too. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. I'm probably going to be these couple of Turtle Times figures. That was kind of the foreshadowing right there. But thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Have a good one.